Have you ever felt the ground beneath your feet shift? Not physically, but in the very landscape of your mind? A subtle unease, a nagging doubt that whispers, "Am I the crazy one?" Perhaps you voiced a concern, shared a feeling, only to be met with a response that completely invalidated your reality. Maybe it was a loved one, a partner, someone whose words carry weight, turning your truth into a twisted caricature. This isn't mere disagreement. This is something far more insidious. This is the subtle, dark art of gaslighting. Imagine yourself standing in a familiar room, yet the furniture seems rearranged, the colors distorted. You point it out, but the person beside you insists everything is as it always was. Are you hallucinating? Are your memories failing you? The unsettling feeling grows, a seed of doubt planted deep within your psyche. The insidious nature of gaslighting lies in its gradual erosion of your self-trust, your intuition, the very foundation of your sanity. It's not a dramatic confrontation, but a slow, persistent drip of manipulation that warps your perception of reality. Consider the flickering candlelight in a darkened chamber. What happens when someone slowly dims the flame, claiming it burns just as brightly? You begin to question your own eyes, your own sense of light and shadow. This is the essence of the gaslighter's technique, to manipulate your perception, blurring the lines between truth and falsehood, sanity and madness. But why? What compels someone to engage in such a calculated act of psychological manipulation? Is it a conscious desire to control, a manifestation of deep-seated insecurity, or something far more complex, something rooted in the hidden energies that bind us together? Are they even aware of the darkness they wield? Perhaps you've dismissed these experiences as simple misunderstandings, personality clashes, or the occasional white lie. But what if these seemingly minor incidents are part of a larger, more sinister pattern? What if someone is deliberately attempting to rewrite your past, distort your present, and ultimately control your future? In the depths of the human psyche, where the conscious and unconscious intertwine, lies a hidden battleground. A battle for truth, for power, for the very essence of reality. Are you ready to explore the shadows, to confront the unsettling possibility that your reality might not be entirely your own? To understand the dark art of gaslighting is to embark on a journey into the labyrinth of the human mind, a journey where the lines between victim and perpetrator, sanity and madness become disturbingly blurred. Are you brave enough to delve into this darkness and reclaim your truth? The path ahead is not for the faint of heart, but the reward is nothing less than the liberation of your mind. Delving deeper, we uncover the subtle architecture of the gaslighter's strategy. It's not merely about lying. It's about constructing an alternate reality, brick by psychological brick, where you are perpetually off balance. One common tactic involves denial, flatly rejecting your recollections or feelings. That never happened, they might assert, even when confronted with irrefutable evidence. Or you're being too sensitive, dismissing your emotional response as an overreaction. These pronouncements aren't simply disagreements. They're calculated attempts to undermine your confidence in your own perceptions. Another insidious technique is trivialization, minimizing your concerns or experiences to make them seem insignificant. It was just a joke, they might say after making a hurtful remark, or why are you making such a big deal out of this? By downplaying your feelings, they invalidate your emotional reality and subtly suggest that you're overreacting or irrational. This can lead you to question your own judgment and begin to doubt your ability to accurately assess situations. Consider the partner who consistently arrives late for dates, then shrugs it off with a casual, "It's only 15 minutes," dismissing the disrespect and the value of your time. Conversely, some gaslighters employ a strategy of deflection, diverting attention away from their own behavior by shifting blame onto you. "If you weren't so insecure, I wouldn't have to lie," they might argue. Or, "You're the reason I'm always so stressed." By turning the tables and making you responsible for their actions, they avoid taking accountability and further erode your self-esteem. This tactic often involves projecting their own flaws or insecurities onto you, making you feel guilty or inadequate. It's also worth noting the power of withholding, a tactic where the gaslighter refuses to engage in open communication or acknowledge your concerns. They might stonewall you, giving you the silent treatment, or simply avoid addressing the issue altogether. This creates a sense of isolation and frustration, leaving you feeling unheard and invalidated. Imagine constantly seeking reassurance from a partner who consistently avoids expressing affection or offering support, leaving you perpetually uncertain about their feelings. The cumulative effect of these tactics can be devastating, leading to anxiety, depression, and a profound sense of self-doubt. You might start to question your sanity, isolate yourself from friends and family, and become increasingly dependent on the gaslighter for validation. Recognizing these patterns is the first step towards breaking free from this cycle of manipulation and reclaiming your own reality. Have you perhaps noticed yourself apologizing excessively, even when you've done nothing wrong? Or second-guessing your decisions, constantly seeking the approval of others? These are potential indicators that you may be experiencing the effects of gaslighting. The path to recovery begins with self-awareness and a commitment to honoring your own truth. Reflecting on this journey so far, we begin to perceive the underlying architecture of manipulation, not as isolated incidents, but as a carefully constructed edifice built on the subtle erosion of trust. It's as if we've been navigating a darkened forest, slowly realizing that the familiar landmarks have been deliberately obscured, the paths rerouted to lead us further astray. The implications extend far beyond individual interactions. They touch upon the very core of our self-perception, our ability to discern truth from falsehood, and our inherent right to our own reality. Imagine a tapestry, intricately woven with threads of experience, memory, and emotion. Gaslighting, then, is akin to someone meticulously unraveling specific threads, distorting the overall pattern, and leaving us struggling to make sense of the fragmented design. The damage isn't always immediately visible, but over time the fabric weakens, becomes frayed, and loses its original integrity. This unraveling affects not only our relationship with the gaslighter, but also our relationship with ourselves, leaving us questioning our own sanity and judgment. The essence of this insidious art lies not merely in the act of deception, but in the calculated dismantling of another's inner compass. It's a form of psychological trespass, an intrusion into the sacred space of the mind, where our thoughts, feelings, and memories reside. The effects ripple outward, impacting our ability to form healthy relationships, trust our intuition, and navigate the world with confidence. We find ourselves constantly second-guessing our perceptions, seeking external validation, and living in a state of perpetual unease. In light of these insights, the path forward requires a courageous act of self-reclamation. It demands that we cultivate a deep sense of self-awareness, learn to recognize the subtle signs of manipulation, and re-establish the boundaries that have been eroded. It's a journey of rediscovering our inner voice, trusting our gut instincts, and reclaiming our right to define our own reality. This process may involve seeking support from trusted friends, family members, or therapists who can provide guidance and validation. As we pivot towards the final reflection, consider the profound impact that gaslighting can have on our spiritual well-being. When our reality is constantly questioned and distorted, we lose touch with our inner truth, our connection to something larger than ourselves. We become disconnected from our intuition, our sense of purpose, and our ability to find meaning in life. Reclaiming our reality is not just a psychological imperative. It's a spiritual one. It's about reconnecting with our authentic selves, rediscovering our inner light, and reclaiming our power to create a life that is aligned with our deepest values and aspirations. The journey ahead may be challenging, but the reward is nothing less than the liberation of our mind, body, and spirit. Ultimately, the revelation of gaslighting's dark art leads us not only to recognize manipulation in the external world, but to confront the potential for self-deception within our own minds. The insidious nature of this psychological warfare lies in its ability to erode the very foundation of our self-trust, blurring the lines between reality and illusion until we become strangers to our own inner landscape. Consider the image of a labyrinth, its twisting corridors mirroring the complexities of the human psyche. Gaslighting, in this context, becomes the act of subtly altering the map, misleading us down false paths, and trapping us within a web of doubt and uncertainty. The escape then lies not merely in identifying the manipulator, but in reclaiming our own inner compass, rediscovering our innate ability to navigate the labyrinth of our own minds. This journey of self-reclamation requires a profound act of courage, a willingness to confront the shadows within and to embrace the truth, even when it is uncomfortable or painful. It demands that we cultivate a deep sense of self-compassion, recognizing that we are all vulnerable to manipulation and that healing requires patience and understanding. It is not enough to simply identify the tactics of gaslighting. We must also develop the inner resilience to resist its influence, to stand firm in our own truth, and to reclaim our right to define our own reality. As we emerge from the darkness, we must carry with us the wisdom gained, not as a shield against the world, but as a beacon of self-awareness. The true practice begins now, cultivating mindfulness, honoring our emotions, and trusting our intuition. For it is in these acts of self-care that we fortify our inner landscape, making it impervious to the insidious whispers of manipulation. And as we heal ourselves, we create a ripple effect of healing in the world, empowering others to reclaim their own truth and to break free from the chains of psychological control. The journey through the labyrinth may be arduous, but the destination is nothing less than the liberation of our minds and the rediscovery of our authentic selves. Remember, the light of truth once ignited can never truly be extinguished. Let it guide you forward, illuminating the path to a life of self-awareness, empowerment, and unwavering self-trust. And so, as the shadows recede and the dawn breaks, remember this: the most profound magic lies not in the ability to deceive, but in the courage to see clearly. Subscribe for more insights into the hidden currents that shape our relationships and our realities.